Curie was best known for her work in radioactivity, which would save 1 million lives during the First World War, but would ultimately take her own.
Inventions have the power to change the world by solving problems, pushing limits, and making life easier, faster, or more exciting. Some inventors spend their whole lives working on something groundbreaking, but things don't always go as planned. Every new idea comes with risks. Their creations are like extensions of themselves, but sometimes the very inventions meant to help the world end up being dangerous. Like the designers of the Titanic and daredevils launching rockets, they dreamed of a better future but found themselves at the mercy of their own inventions. Today, let's take a closer look at some inventors killed by their own inventions.
At some point, safety just is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything.
Stockton Rush.
Same thing when Elon Musk was doing SpaceX. Inside the box, everything's scary.
In the world of deep-sea exploration, Stockton Rush was a visionary. As the CEO of OceanGate, he sought to push the boundaries of underwater travel with the Titan submersible, a vessel designed to explore the depths of the ocean, including the wreckage of the Titanic. Rush was not just an advocate for underwater discovery. He was directly involved in its advancement, overseeing the creation of a cutting-edge submersible capable of reaching extreme depths. However, in June 2023, Rush's ambition led to a catastrophic tragedy. During a dive to the Titanic wreck, the Titan submersible suffered a devastating implosion due to the immense pressure of the ocean depths, killing all 5 passengers on board, including Rush. The incident sent shockwaves through the maritime exploration community and raised questions about the safety protocols and design of deep-sea vessels. Rush's death, alongside his crew, stands as a stark reminder of the inherent risks that come with pushing the limits of human exploration. While his work sought to expand our understanding of the deep ocean, it also underscored the unforgiving nature of the environment he sought to conquer. Stockton Rush's legacy is one of both blind ambition and caution, as his tragic end at the bottom of the sea echoes the dangers faced by all pioneers in uncharted territories. Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews, a naval architect and shipbuilder, was the brilliant mind behind the design of the RMS Titanic, the largest and most luxurious ocean liner of its time. Launched in 1912, the Titanic was heralded as the epitome of maritime engineering, boasting advanced safety features and a design thought to be virtually unsinkable. Andrews, who worked as the chief designer for Harland & Wolff, had poured his expertise and passion into the ship, ensuring every detail was perfected for what was meant to be a triumphant feat of modern engineering. However, on the night of April 14, 1912, tragedy struck. After the Titanic collided with an iceberg in the freezing waters of the North Atlantic, it became clear that even the most advanced ship of its time was no match for the forces of nature. Andrews was aboard the ship during its fateful maiden voyage, and when disaster unfolded, he worked tirelessly to help passengers find lifeboats and safety. Despite his efforts, the ship sank in the early hours of April 15, 1912, claiming the lives of over 1,500 people, including Andrews himself. Andrews's death was a heartbreaking end for a man who had dedicated his life to maritime innovation. His story, forever entwined with the tragic fate of the Titanic, is a haunting reminder of how even the most seemingly indestructible creations can fall victim to unforeseen disaster. Andrews' legacy lives on through the lessons learned from the tragedy, but his tragic end aboard the ship he so carefully designed stands as a testament to the limits of human engineering in the face of nature's power. Henri Giffard. In the year 1852, Henri Giffard became a name etched in aviation history. His creation, the world's first steam-powered airship, marked a monumental leap toward controlled flight. As the massive dirigible lifted into the air, the world stood in awe of Giffard's achievement. His vision, quite literally, allowed humanity to rise above the earth, paving the way for future pioneers of the skies. Yet behind this triumph was a man grappling with a slow descent into despair. Decades after his groundbreaking flight, Gifford's health began to fail. His eyesight, once sharp and full of promise, deteriorated with each passing year. By 1882, the once celebrated inventor could no longer bear the toll of losing the very sense that had allowed him to dream of the skies. Gifford, consumed by the loss of his sight and the weight of his diminishing legacy, tragically ended his own life. Though Gifford's airship laid the foundation for modern aviation, the personal toll it took on him serves as a haunting contrast to his public success. His vision, which once reached the clouds, ultimately fell victim to the harsh realities of time and fate. Franz Reichelt. Ambition often drives inventors to take risks few others would dare. For Franz Reichelt, that risk took the form of a parachute suit, a bold innovation designed to save lives by allowing people to safely jump from high altitudes. It was an invention that could have changed the course of aviation history, had it worked. Confident in his creation, Reichelt planned a public demonstration to prove its efficacy. On a cold morning in 1912, Reichelt climbed to the top of the Eiffel Tower, donned his parachute suit, and prepared for what he believed would be a groundbreaking moment. But as he leaped from the iron structure, something went terribly wrong. The parachute failed to deploy, and Reichelt plummeted to his death in full view of horrified spectators. Reichelt's fearless determination to demonstrate his parachute suit at the ultimate cost stands as a testament to the peril inventors face when pushing the boundaries of human achievement. In chasing the dream of flight, Reichelt's story ended in a fall that would forever be remembered as a tragic misstep in the quest for progress. Jimmy Heselden. Jimmy Heselden was not an inventor himself, but his name became forever linked to one of the most unusual and tragic incidents in modern technology. Heselden was a British entrepreneur who acquired the Segway company, famous for its innovative two-wheeled personal transporters. The Segway, a symbol of futuristic mobility, was designed to be an easy and efficient way to navigate urban environments. However, it would ironically become the instrument of Heselden's demise. In 2010, while riding a Segway near his estate, Heselden tragically lost control of the device. His Segway veered off a cliff, sending him tumbling into the river below. The incident shocked the world, casting a shadow over a product that was meant to symbolize safety and convenience. Heselden's death remains one of the most bizarre and tragic accidents tied to a modern technological invention, underscoring the unforeseen dangers that can emerge even from everyday devices. Though his death was not due to a flaw in the Segway's design, the incident nevertheless serves as a stark reminder of how quickly innovation can lead to tragedy, even for those who champion its cause. Heselden's fate is a chilling reflection of how technological advances, while remarkable, can sometimes have unforeseen consequences. Sylvester H. Roper. Sylvester H. Roper was a man ahead of his time, pushing the limits of mechanical ingenuity in the late 1800s. His most notable creation was the steam-powered bicycle, an invention that would lay the groundwork for the modern motorcycle. Roper's steam-powered two-wheeler was a marvel of its day, blending speed and engineering into a compact and daring machine. It was in this pursuit of speed and innovation that Roper met his end. In 1896, during a public demonstration of his steam-powered bicycle, Roper lost control of the machine. Whether it was the bicycle's immense speed or a sudden health issue, no one could say for sure. What is certain is that Roper collapsed and died on the spot, leaving onlookers stunned. His death marked the first fatality associated with motorcycle technology, and it underscored the inherent risks of pushing machines to their limits. Roper's story is a somber example of how even the most visionary creators can fall victim to the very innovations they seek to perfect. His steam-powered bicycle was a glimpse into the future, but it came at the cost of the inventor's own life, a poignant reminder of the fine line between progress and peril. Valerian Abakovsky. In 1921, Valerian Abakovsky, a young Russian engineer, sought to revolutionize railway travel with his ambitious invention, the Aero Wagon. Powered by a repurposed aircraft engine, the Aero Wagon was designed to travel at unprecedented speeds along railway tracks. A vision of faster, more efficient transportation, It was a bold and innovative concept, one that could potentially transform long-distance travel across the vast expanses of Russia. However, during a test run with several high-ranking officials aboard, tragedy struck. As the aerowagon hurtled down the tracks at high speed, it suddenly derailed, killing Abakovsky and 6 others. The crash was a violent and devastating end to a promising invention. Abakovsky, who had been on the verge of a major breakthrough, became yet another inventor whose life was claimed by the very creation he had hoped would improve the world. Abakovsky's vision of rapid rail travel, though innovative, was fatally flawed in execution. The aerowagon's failure is a haunting testament to the dangers inventors face when experimenting with the unknown, where ambition can sometimes lead to a tragic end. Otto Lilienthal. Known as the father of gliding, Otto Lilienthal was a German aviation pioneer whose experiments with gliders laid the foundation for modern aviation. Lilienthal was fascinated with the dream of human flight, and throughout his life he conducted over 2,000 successful glider flights, making him one of the most significant figures in early flight experimentation. His meticulous research and daring tests brought humanity closer than ever to conquering the skies. But on August 9, 1896, during one of his test flights, disaster struck. Lilienthal's glider unexpectedly lost lift, causing him to plummet from a significant height. He sustained critical injuries in the fall, and despite efforts to save him, Lilienthal succumbed to his wounds the following day. His final words, "Sacrifices must be made," were a tragic reflection of his dedication to advancing human flight, even at great personal risk. Otto Lilienthal's death is a powerful example of the dangers faced by those who venture into uncharted territory. His pioneering work laid the groundwork for future aviation developments, but his life was tragically cut short by the very ambition that drove him. Lilienthal's story remains a poignant reminder of the high cost of progress in the quest to master the skies. Thomas Midgley Jr. Few inventors have had as wide-reaching an impact on the world as Thomas Midgley Jr., yet few have faced such tragic consequences from their own innovations. Midgley was a renowned chemist and mechanical engineer, responsible for 2 of the 20th century's most significant and ultimately harmful technological developments, leaded gasoline and chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. Both inventions were hailed as groundbreaking at the time, but their devastating environmental and health effects were later revealed. However, it was not these inventions that directly led to Midgley's demise. In 1940, after contracting polio, Midgley found himself severely disabled. Ingenious as ever, he designed a pulley system to assist in moving himself in and out of bed. But in a cruel twist of fate, the very system he had devised to improve his quality of life became his undoing. In 1944, Midgley became entangled in the apparatus and was strangled to death. Midgley's work pushed the boundaries of science and technology. His story is tinged with irony, as both his major inventions and the mechanism he created to assist his disability contributed to a tragic end. Midgley's legacy is a complex one, shadowed by both brilliance and catastrophe. Michael Dacre. The pursuit of advanced aviation technology is fraught with peril, a fact exemplified by the tragic death of Michael Dacre. A passionate inventor and aviation enthusiast, Dacre was working on a revolutionary vertical lift aircraft, the Advanced Vertical Lift Sentinel, which promised to bring significant advancements to personal air travel. Dacre's aircraft was designed to take off and land vertically, a concept that could have transformed the aviation industry had it succeeded. In 2009, Dacre took his prototype for a test flight, hoping to demonstrate the viability of his invention, but the test ended in disaster. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft encountered mechanical failure and crashed, killing Dacre instantly. The promising future of vertical lift technology was overshadowed by the tragic accident that claimed its creator's life. Dacre's vision was bold, his ambition undeniable, but the margin for error in aviation is razor thin. As with many innovators before him, Dacre's dedication to pushing the boundaries of flight ultimately cost him everything, leaving behind a legacy of both ingenuity and tragedy. William Bullock. William Bullock revolutionized the printing industry with his invention of the rotary printing press, a machine that dramatically increased the speed and efficiency of mass printing. Introduced in 1867, Bullock's press could print newspapers and other materials far faster than previous methods, forever changing the landscape of publishing. His invention was a monumental achievement, laying the foundation for modern mass communication. However, Bullock's genius would be met with a tragic twist. While working on one of his own machines, Bullock attempted to adjust a malfunctioning part. In a horrific accident, his leg became entangled in the press, crushing it severely. Despite undergoing surgery, Bullock developed gangrene and died shortly afterward. The very machine that had revolutionized an industry became the source of his untimely death. Bullock's invention continued to influence the world long after his passing, but his personal story remains a somber footnote in the history of industrial progress, where triumph and tragedy are often closely intertwined. Horace Lawson Hunley. Horace Lawson Hunley was a Confederate engineer who contributed to naval warfare by inventing the H.L. Hunley, the first combat submarine to successfully sink an enemy ship. Hunley's submarine, though rudimentary by modern standards, was a marvel of its time, offering a new way to attack enemy vessels without the risk of surface exposure. However, this innovation came at a significant cost. In 1863, during a routine test of the H.L. Hunley, disaster struck. While submerged, the submarine failed to resurface, leading to the drowning of Hunley and his entire crew. The submarine was later recovered and restored, but Hunley's death marked the tragic end of his pioneering efforts in underwater warfare. Hunley's contribution to naval warfare was undeniable, yet his own life was claimed by the very machine he had so painstakingly designed. Like many inventors who push the limits of what is possible, Hunley's ambition led him into uncharted waters, where both progress and peril awaited. His legacy lives on in naval history, but his death remains a sobering reminder of the risks taken by those who dare to innovate. Henry Smolinski and Harold Blake. In the early 1970s, Henry Smolinski and Harold Blake set out to achieve a dream that had captured imaginations for decades: a flying car. Their invention, the Mizar, was a hybrid vehicle that combined a Ford Pinto with the wings and tail of a Cessna Skymaster. Smolinski and Blake believed that their creation could revolutionize transportation, merging the convenience of a car with the speed of an airplane. The concept of flying cars felt like the future brought to life. However, that dream came crashing down in the most tragic way. In 1973, during a test flight, the Mizar's wing struts failed mid-air, causing the vehicle to crash. Both Smolinski and Blake were killed in the accident. Their deaths brought a swift and devastating end to the flying car project, a vision that seemed so close to becoming reality. Smolinski and Blake's flying car was an audacious idea, but the technology of the time could not fully support it. Their dream, which had soared so high, was brought down by the harsh realities of engineering challenges, leaving behind a story of ambition that ultimately ended in tragedy. Louis Slotin. A key figure in the development of nuclear weapons, Louis Slotin was a brilliant scientist who worked on the Manhattan Project during World War II. His contributions to the creation of the atomic bomb were significant, but it was during his post-war work that Slotin met a tragic end. In 1946, during a criticality experiment involving plutonium at Los Alamos Laboratory, Slotin was manually handling 2 hemispheres of radioactive material when a fatal mistake occurred. Slotin was using a screwdriver to separate the plutonium spheres, a risky procedure known as tickling the dragon's tail. In a split second, the screwdriver slipped, causing the spheres to come into full contact and triggering a burst of radiation. Slotin quickly separated the spheres, preventing a full nuclear explosion, but the damage was done. He received a lethal dose of radiation and succumbed to acute radiation poisoning just 9 days later. Slotin's quick actions likely saved the lives of others present in the lab, but the cost was his own life. Slotin's tragic fate is a haunting chapter in the history of atomic research, illustrating the immense risks taken by those who venture into the unknown. Alexander Bogdanov. Alexander Bogdanov was a man of many talents, physician, philosopher, and revolutionary. However, it was his work in medical science, particularly his experiments with blood transfusions, that would lead to his untimely death. Bogdanov believed that regular blood transfusions could rejuvenate the human body and possibly even extend life itself. He tested this theory on himself, receiving numerous transfusions in an attempt to reverse the effects of aging. For a time, Bogdanov seemed to experience positive results, but in 1928, his experimentation took a fatal turn. During a transfusion, Bogdanov received blood from a donor who unknowingly carried both tuberculosis and malaria. The contaminated blood quickly led to his death, bringing an abrupt and tragic end to his groundbreaking work. Bogdanov's quest for eternal youth ultimately became the cause of his demise. His death serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of experimental science, particularly in fields as volatile as early blood transfusion research. Bogdanov's ambition to unlock the secrets of rejuvenation was admirable, but it also highlighted the inherent risks of using oneself as a test subject in the pursuit of medical breakthroughs. His life and his tragic death left a legacy both as a pioneer and a cautionary figure in the world of experimental medicine. John Boyd Dunlop. John Boyd Dunlop, a Scottish veterinarian, is best known for his invention of the pneumatic tire in 1888, a creation that would forever change the world of transportation. Dunlop's invention provided a smoother, more efficient ride for bicycles, and later for automobiles, and his tire technology became a cornerstone of modern vehicle design. However, Dunlop's success was marred by bitter legal battles over the patents for his invention. Though he was the first to develop the practical application of pneumatic tires, another inventor had filed a similar patent years earlier. This led to a prolonged and grueling series of court cases, during which Dunlop struggled to secure his claim to his invention. The stress and emotional toll of these battles weighed heavily on him. In 1921, after years of legal conflict, Dunlop died from a heart attack, an event some have linked to the pressures of the ongoing disputes. Dunlop's pneumatic tire revolutionized transportation, yet the struggles over its ownership cast a shadow over his later years. While his invention left a lasting impact on the world, Dunlop's life serves as a poignant example of how the pursuit of innovation can sometimes lead to personal tragedy. Kazimierz Zeglen. Kazimierz Zeglen, a Polish priest and inventor, is known for creating the bulletproof vest in the late 1800s. His invention was a game-changer in the field of personal safety, particularly for those in law enforcement and military roles. Zeglen's vest, made from tightly woven silk layers, was capable of stopping bullets, a remarkable achievement at a time when gun violence was becoming more widespread. His invention saved countless lives, offering protection where none had previously existed. But while his vest became a life-saving tool for others, Zeglen himself paid a steep personal price for his dedication to the project. His relentless work on improving the vest and ensuring its widespread adoption took a toll on his health. Zeglen's drive to perfect his invention and see it adopted by those who needed it most consumed much of his energy and time. As his health deteriorated, Zeglen became a quiet casualty of his own invention, not in a dramatic accident, but through the slow and steady decline brought on by years of hard work and stress. Zeglen's story is one of quiet sacrifice. While his invention continues to protect lives, his own was cut short by the immense pressure and personal toll of his work. His dedication to making the world a safer place was his ultimate contribution, though it cost him his own well-being. Juan de la Cierva. Juan de la Cierva, a Spanish engineer, is celebrated for his invention of the autogyro, an early form of the helicopter that could take off and land in small spaces. De la Cierva's innovative design solved many of the problems faced by fixed-wing aircraft, offering greater stability and control at low speeds. His autogyro was a groundbreaking contribution to aviation, laying the foundation for the development of modern helicopters. In 1936, de la Cierva's promising career was tragically cut short. While traveling to discuss the potential military applications of his autogyro in the Spanish Civil War, de la Cierva boarded a plane for a routine flight. However, the aircraft encountered severe weather and crashed, killing de la Cierva and several others. The irony of his death is profound. While his invention had revolutionized safe, controlled flight, de la Cierva himself perished in a conventional airplane accident. De la Cierva's death highlights the unpredictable dangers of aviation, even for those who have made great strides in improving flight safety. His autogyro paved the way for future aerial advancements, but his untimely demise serves as a somber reminder that, for all of humanity's achievements in the sky, the forces of nature and fate remain uncontrollable. His legacy lives on in the helicopters that owe their existence to his pioneering work. Francis Edgar Stanley. The Stanley steamer, a marvel of the early automobile era, was the brainchild of Francis Edgar Stanley and his twin brother. Together, they pioneered steam-powered vehicles, and their creations became the luxury cars of their time. The Stanley steamers were fast, sleek, and innovative, a testament to the ingenuity of early automobile engineering. Francis, in particular, took great pride in the smooth, powerful operation of the steam-powered engines he had designed. But in 1918, tragedy struck. Francis Stanley, known for his meticulous attention to detail, was speeding down a road in Massachusetts when he attempted to avoid an obstacle. Swerving to dodge a wagon, he lost control of his car. The Stanley steamer careened off the road, crashing into a tree. The impact was fatal, and Stanley, the brilliant inventor who had given life to the steam-powered car, was killed instantly. Stanley's death is an eerie echo of the peril that often accompanies innovation. The very vehicle that had been his greatest success became the instrument of his demise. Like many inventors, Stanley's life ended in tragic irony, claimed by the powerful machine he had created. His story serves as a haunting reminder of the dangers that lie in the pursuit of progress, where even the most careful minds can be undone by the forces they set into motion. Marie Curie. A pioneer in the field of radioactivity, Marie Curie revolutionized science with her groundbreaking research. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, physics and chemistry. Curie's discoveries, including the isolation of radium and polonium, changed the course of medical and scientific history, leading to advances in cancer treatment and atomic research. But Curie's brilliance came at a steep personal cost. At a time when the dangers of radioactivity were not fully understood, Curie often worked with radium and other radioactive materials without any form of protection. She carried radium in her pockets and frequently handled the glowing substance directly with her hands. The very element that brought her fame also brought about her gradual, painful decline. By 1934, Curie succumbed to aplastic anemia, a condition caused by her prolonged exposure to high levels of radiation. Marie Curie's legacy is one of scientific triumph, but it is also tinged with tragedy. The glow of radium, once a symbol of her success, became a slow poison that claimed her life. Curie's story stands as a haunting testament to the sacrifices made in the pursuit of knowledge, where brilliance and danger often go hand in hand. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the lives of these remarkable inventors. Their stories remind us that innovation often comes with great risk and sacrifice. If you found their tales as fascinating as we did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more captivating content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Who inspired you the most? Until next time, keep dreaming and daring to create.